So I am TJ, and I am a psychotherapist in Annapolis, Maryland, and I am also a coach. And my background is in attachment and complex developmental trauma. So I really fell in love with this field, working with maternal psychology. And so my work has been with moms of teenagers, moms of new moms, moms of toddlers, really moms who are struggling in a transition age. And what focus on now is the psychology of play and how to help adults re-engage in the play state, which is a primal drive in the body, like hunger, thirst, sleep, play, anger. These are primal things in our body that we can't avoid, but culturally we really suppress suppress play. And so my work is really about engaging adults in the play state. Like one thing that all play has in common is that there's something enjoyable in it. But play is this spectrum that is calm and relaxing. It is like frivolous and illuminating, and then it's also very driven and focused. And so play is it's not one behavior, it's a state of being in the body. And the thing that we know about play is that it is this feeling of being both activated, where the fight and flight actually is turned on in the body. So it's a feeling of being activated, like you're going after something and you're into something, but it also has this feeling of being safe and connected to yourself, to the object you're within, to the environment. And what play is like it is abandoning the survival, like a survival state in the body. And so play is not one behavior specifically. It is a state of being engaged and activated, exploring, like curious, risk taking, testing. And so it brings alive that kind of tester within the body.
And I know that in my adult life, and probably is the same to be true for most adults, is play isn't really something that comes up.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems like anything that we do, a lot of, especially high achieving people,
Sure.
needs to have a really intentional purpose and productivity attached to it. What I heard you say is that it's an activity, it's an action, but there's safety involved, which can make it a little bit different than those survival behaviors and survival experiences that we have.
And so when we talk about the brain science, like I teach within this polyvagal framework and around the nervous system and the vagus nerve. And Deb Dana and Stephen Porges set up this like wonderful concept of the ladder, and that we all have the same kind of infrastructure of the nervous system, where we have safe and connected, we have play, which is right underneath that, fight and flight, which is kind of in the middle of the rung, freeze and collapse, and rest at the very bottom. And so play is right here in the nervous system between fight and flight and the ventral, which is like a safe and connected.
Okay.
And one of the things is that our nervous system is built to always be on alert, always be protecting us. And so play is this place that we're telling the system, like, hey, I want you to be checking things out, but in a way that we're exploring.
What that triggers in me is conversations that I have with parents who were really into something specific growing up and it really enriched their life. Like, just for example, theater, right?
Yeah.
I really love theater. I love being on stage. The whole dynamic of it. And they're like, I need to get my teen into this because it's so amazing. And maybe
Yes.
their teen does it and they're like, wait a second, being on stage is terrifying for me, right?
Yeah. And so if we are pushing our kids into play without pushing our own bodies into play, it's going to engage that fight, like that fight dynamic in their kids.
Okay.
Or it's going to force our kids into dorsal, like, I'm doing it just because you told me to.